Good morning, John.
Good morning. My name is John with the Pine Tree. I have the great pleasure of being here with Emil Morgano. Did I get that right?
You sure did.
All right. Now, this is a pretty cool story. Now, this is something, one thing we'd like to say is thanks to you for investing in the county, opening a new business. I think it's appreciated by a lot of people in the community, especially, interesting economic times, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, it's definitely exciting for me and my family, and we hope it's a service that we can provide for the community.
Yeah, you've been coming up here for about 15 years, correct?
Correct.
Now you decided to open up a business. Now, this is the Rusty Knife. Tell people a little about what you do here.
Well, it's a cutlery store. First and foremost, we're sharpeners.
Okay.
I've been sharpening knives when I opened up my cutlery store in San Francisco. We started out as sharpeners. I wanted to be able to sharpen knives the best way I knew how.
Right.
So I contacted some of the manufacturers, trying to find out what is really the way to sharpen a knife without maiming the knife, grinding it. Not old school. I want something that is done to where an expensive knife can be sharpened and sharpened well. And I discovered a company and started out what's called razor sharp knife sharpening, because I guess I was narrow vision and didn't even think about the retail aspect of it.
Yeah.
So as people started coming in, we sold knives as they requested, and for the most part here we're starting out selling knives, but the selection that I have is new, and it's still like what I call a sampling of knives, and I will grow as the customers request things that they need.
Very cool. Well, hey, I'm going to get off camera here real quick, and you can show us a little about what you got.
Thanks, Ty. All right. Really, the world of knife, as I've always said time and again, it sounds really corny, but everything in life starts with a knife. And it really does. Whether it's cooking or producing furniture, wood, you know what I'm talking about. And in a household, having a sharp knife, or in a professional kitchen, having a sharp knife really is a joy. And for me, knives as a whole is a beautiful thing. Having a sharp knife, being able to slice whatever it is that you need to work with these is a huge pleasure. For me it is, and I'm sure it is for you as well. In an average household, you need 3 knives. You need a paring knife, you need a chef's knife, and of course a bread knife. Now a lot of people, you might decide you want to do some boning or meat cutting or meat trimming. Then you need a boning knife or a steak knife for taking down large prime ribs into steaks, or in New York into steaks. Anything more than that, maybe a carver, for the Thanksgiving turkey, ribeye, tri-tip kind of thing where you want to carve meat. And that's basically it. A lot of people enjoy a set of knives for the aesthetics. And if you're funded for it, have at it. Enjoy yourself. We're happy to sell it to you. But when you come in here to my shop, my job is to give you really what I believe is the best advice possible. For me, selling is really not what I do or would like to do. What I'd like to do is give you the information, and then you decide. Now that we have bought this set of knives, you want to maintain them. You bring them to me, and I'll sharpen them for you. First and foremost, we sharpen knives. We charge $1 an inch, starting at 6 inches. So basically, a 6-inch chef knife, or any kind of a knife for that matter, is $6. A 7-inch is $7, and so on. Now, once you get your knives sharpened here, you want to maintain them. You don't want to put them in a drawer where they're bouncing around, banging with each other. You want to use a block if you can. You want to use a magnetic bar if you can. And if you do like I do, I put mine in a drawer, but I actually have a magnet inside my drawer to where the knives are not touching. The edge of a knife, like I was explaining to John yesterday, the edge of a knife, once it's been sharpened, under magnification, there's little tiny feathers that look like teeth of a saw. And as you're cutting, those little feathers, as they call them, they will fold. So once they fold, the knife is not really dull. You just need the edge needs to be realigned with a steel. So you take a steel, you take a knife, you pick it up to maybe 15 degrees, and you kind of just stroke it on the side really nice and slow. It doesn't have to be hard. If you go up too high, you're going to take the edge right off. If you're too shallow, of course, you're not going to get the alignment that you want. So just take it down, pick it up just a tad, stroke it on both sides, and you'll feel the edge. You'll feel the edge just come right back, and it'll feel just so. And of course, always treat a sharp knife or any knife with respect, because it will cut you if it has the chance. Now, once those feathers, as you use the knife, the feathers will fold, and you'll realign them. Eventually, they will break. And once the feathers break, then your knife is dull. Now, you can bring it to me, and it's great. We're happy to sharpen it for you. Or you could use a stone. DMT makes a great diamond stone that works and works well. I like the DMT product. You can have Morton stones. They got Indian stones of different grades and grits. Oil stones are great. Diamond stones are great. And also, there's ceramic water stones that you could use. They're all great. They all work well. It's just a matter of you really having the patience of using the stones. It's a labor of love. Usually you see old timers who are sitting there, they're working away at their knife, and it's something that they enjoy. They're not doing it because it's a chore or something that they're just like they have to do. They do it because they love their knives. It's a tool. And just like if you're a woodworker, if you're a person that any kind of work that you do, whether you're a mechanic, you want to take care of your tools. And it's really important that you do the same thing with the knife. And if you sharpen it, and the sharpening principle works the same way. If this was, I don't know, the best way, I guess it's not, I'm not sure of how to really explain it to where it's really understood. But, they say, 17.5 degrees on either side, which is 35 degrees for a perfect edge. The knife will tell you exactly if you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. And one way that I've always taught people how to do it is, if the block that you're sharpening on, whether it's diamond or oil or water stone, if that was a block of chocolate or cheese, and you want to take a paper thin layer off of that chocolate, that's the angle that you want. You don't want it to be too high, you'll take the edge off, and you don't want it to be too low. Start at the heel, apply even pressure, and then just stroke the knife from heel to tip, and the scratch marks, you should have about maybe a 1/4 inch of scratch marks along the edge of the knife. If the scratch marks are too high up, then you're too shallow, or you're way too low. And if you don't see any scratch marks at all, then you're too high up, and of course you're taking the edge off. And you do three strokes on one side, and then you reverse it. A lot of people have a hard time with this, going left-handed to the other side. But just take your time and just practice. Practice makes perfect. So lay it down, pick it up just a tad, and then stroke it. And I don't have it here on a rubber mat to where I'm actually sharpening the knife. But that's the same principle of just having it go from heel to tip. And then look at the knife, 3 strokes on one side, 3 strokes on the other. Now if the knife is really, really dull, you might want to use a coarse first and then a fine. If the fine is just, it's just dull, no damage, a fine will work really well. And that's basically it. Take care of your knives, love them, and respect them, first and foremost. I don't know what else I could tell you to share with you about knives right now. We've covered the steel, we've covered the stone, of course, the types of knives that you need. And so John, what do you think?
Well, I think it's pretty cool. Everybody needs to learn about this and do this and treat their tools better. Now I'm embarrassed by the knives we have at home. We need some good ones.
Well, a lot of people come in here and they're always saying to me, I'm so embarrassed, my knives are really bad, or maybe my knives are not good quality. And in a sense, they're almost embarrassed to bring them to me because they're maybe cheaper knives or cheaper. It doesn't matter to us. We're not here to judge you. We're not here to judge your budget or what have you. You bring me knives.
So you're like a church for knives.
Well, if you want to call it that, I'm just here to sharpen the knives and to give you advice. And a lot of people will have another customer that I get a lot is they have a lot of knives. And so they bring them to me and I give them advice on what knives to keep, what knives maybe just donate, or maybe a knife to keep for a picnic or fishing or what have you. So, you know, I try to give as much advice as possible to, you know, make their cooking experience a good one.
Now, you have knives, I know we started off in the kitchen segment, that's one of the, but you also have knives for outdoor activities, all kinds of
Correct.
stuff.
Well, we have, of course, from fishing, hunting, skinning, gutting, and of course, you know, just general pocket, all-around pocket knives. We even have some for hacking down bush, and I mean, we have a variety, and our inventory will expand as, you know, with the needs of the customers. You know, if people come in here and they want a specific style of knife, I'm happy to order it and order it pronto.
Very cool. So how do they find you?
We are here at 2275 Highway 4 in Arnold, California. Our phone number is 209-795-0444, or you can always email me at Emile, E-M-I-L-E, at therustyknife.com. Emile at therustyknife.com. Of course, if you forget that, you can just go to therustyknife.com. Of course, www.therustyknife.com, and all the information is there. Our website right now only has a splash page, but all the information, all the contact information is there.
Very cool. Thank you very much.
John, thank you.
Thank you.